Welcome to Perfect Organism, the Alien Saga Podcast. I am your host, Jamie Prater, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Patrick Green.
And
I'm excited for Alien Day, my friend.
Me too. And we're here to just announce a little bit. We're taking a week off. We're not going to have a formal show, but we recorded this announcement to come to you guys and talk about what's coming up, what's in store, and what's going to come after Alien Day, because that will be exciting as well.
Yeah, to be fair, we're not technically taking a week off. Like, as far as you can tell, we're taking a week off. On our side of things, we're recording like freaking crazy lately because we're getting stuff lined up for Alien Day. There's so much to come. It's a weird Alien Day because as of the time we're recording this, maybe it'll change in the next few days, but as of now, there's no announcements yet about activities, about cross-promotional things. It's very quiet. That's okay. We're here. We're celebrating it. You're celebrating it. Everybody's talking to each other. And Jamie and I and the rest of the guys and the team and gals have been hard at work pulling together some stuff for Alien Day this year that we're really excited about. So consider this the first official announcement of our lineup for Alien Day. There will be more details on the day of, on the 26th. And to make sure you don't miss any of them, make sure you follow us on social media. If you don't already, you probably do. But if you don't, we're on all the platforms except for TikTok and Snapchat. I don't think we have either of those yet.
No, thank God.
But you can like us on Facebook, and make sure you set the notifications alerts for Alien Day, because we will be throughout the day going live with things on Instagram as well, on Twitter, and YouTube, and we will be reaching out to many of you throughout the day to have you come on the air and join us to celebrate, etc. So, yeah,
it's going to be really exciting. Yes, unfortunately, there is no announcements from Disney about what they might have planned. Maybe they'll spring it on us that day. Disney seems to be more, if you track their social media presence, what they tend to do, which what I have seen, is announce things day of. Here's a new trailer. Here's what we're doing. Here's what's coming. They're not really a pre-announcement type of organization, whereas with Fox pre-announce things. This is what we're doing. This is what's coming. So hopefully we'll hear some things, maybe some updates on the Hulu series, maybe some updates on whatever. But also, by the time Alien Day is here, we'll have a second issue of the Marvel Alien series, which I'm excited to read. I think it's a really great story. But for us, we have a full Alien Day planned. If Disney doesn't come to the table, we're going to make it our own, as we always do.
Consider us your Disney for the day. Yes. If Disney doesn't show up. I think that's a really good point there, Jamie. Like, I'll be your Mickey. I feel like Disney does this where they like to make announcements to shareholders, kind of, right? Mm-hmm. Like, they'll do these big conferences where they'll make announcements for the next 5 years or something, and then they'll go kind of dark for a while. And then when there's an announcement, it has a lot of fanfare because they know how to get eyes on things, right? Mm-hmm. And Alien Day, I'm sure, isn't this huge priority for them. Maybe it will be next year. Maybe we'll be closer to that Hulu series and they'll be drumming up more publicity for it. But, last year was very quiet, although things happened. This year is totally silent. So we will see. This is all preliminary. It's not Alien Day yet as the time we're recording this or as the time you're listening to it. So there's still time, Disney, for you to
have about
step up and give us some stuff.
A little bit less than 2 weeks before Alien Day. So maybe next week will be the announcement day. Who knows? But again, I feel like, as our friend Dave Gogol says, Alien Day is every day. And this is about us, the fans. So what better way to approach this and to host this as a fan outlet, and it's about community. It's about us coming together and loving this series and these movies and the toys and the comics and everything that's involved. So that's why we're here. We're more here for each other than we are here for what Disney has to bring. Certainly we love when they release the shoes and all of the things that they do, which are exciting, and maybe it'd be great if we had a poster, but we have some great things to offer as well. Do we want to talk about that?
We do. Yeah, so let's go through some of the stuff. For one thing, there's going to be periodic check-ins on social media throughout the day, so make sure you're following. For another thing, we are officially releasing Alien: The Tides of Night, an original audio drama written by Connor Murdoch, who many of you know from the show, directed and edited by none other than Jamie Prater, scored by myself, and featuring friends from the Alien community in numerous voice roles. This thing is a cinematic dark as shit experience. It is a really, really wonderful piece. It's something that Connor wrote a couple of years ago, and we've been kind of waiting for the right opportunity to get the forces in order to get it made. And we did, and it's going to be coming out to you for Alien Day this year.
Absolutely, and the star of the audio drama, his name is Stevie Douglas. If that name is familiar to anyone, it's because Stevie directed Vincent Ward's original script for Alien 3 in Scotland about 2 years ago, I believe, or about a year ago, something like. I don't think it was 2020. 2020 is like a lost year. What feels like
I was just thinking that I don't know what year that was. I think that was 2019.
I think so too, because it was for the it was the 40th anniversary of Alien. But what feels like a year ago is actually 2 years ago almost. So he's the star of The Tides of Night. It's a war story. It's set in a war zone, recollections within a war zone. Stevie has a Scottish accent, so remember that when you listen. Be sure to listen to it a couple of times. I feel like it's probably one of the best things that we're releasing, and it's going to be great.
It's a great experience, and it's fun returning to the audio drama format. As listeners of the show know, that's how Jamie and I first met in the first place, was collaborating years ago. Whoever, I don't know how many years ago that was at this point.
20 years ago.
Alien Proximity. We'll say it was 20 years ago.
When I was 15.
On Proximity, which was it was another Alien Day release a couple of years back. I guess probably four years back.
No, 4 years.
So it's in our DNA. Yeah. It's 4 years, yeah. And then we also did a Blade Runner audio drama in 2019. And this is a return to Alien for us in terms of audio dramas. So stay tuned for that. That's coming out Alien Day. It's a little over an hour long, maybe an hour and a half long.
I think about an hour, about an hour and a few.
An hour? Yeah, right.
I was like, this will be easier to edit.
In it yet.
I was like, this will be easier to edit than Gethsemane. No.
Wrong. But it's really good and it's worth it. So that's going to be exciting. Okay, also, we have, as we do in years past, a new t-shirt design that we are releasing. This is a special throwback t-shirt with a freaking awesome design. This is something that speaks to something that a lot of people have been asking for. And it is an homage to the Kenner Alien series, which was, for many of us, myself for sure, the gateway drug that got us into Alien in the first place. For those of us who, are listening, if you're listening to this and you're anywhere around 30 to 35 or so, this was probably what you first got introduced to with Alien. So this is something that, for me, this is like a really great moment to sort of give myself a present, which is this shirt, but I'm also going to buy them for everybody.
Yes.
You'll be able to find out how to buy it on Alien Day. It's an exclusive Alien Day sale for $14.
$14
and
via
it's designed by Blake. What's his last name?
Beckman. He is my roommate.
Blake
and
Beckman.
Huge Alien fan. Just fan-fucking-tastic artist. Just great. His design. This idea was essentially yours, Patrick, and we talked about it a little bit in terms of like what we wanted to see, and then I presented it to Blake, and he was like, "Fuck yeah!" And
well, part of why it was my idea is you were like, "Holy shit, my housemate has so many Kenner toys," and I was like, "You're talking to the guy with like these so many Kenner toys, so like let me see if this is legit." And you started sending me pictures, and I was like, "Jamie, he has so many fucking Kenner toys, including the Hive playset, which is very hard to track down. Yeah. He has like just millions of them with him." And so that was part of why I was thinking, this is a chance for somebody who's also a big Kenner fan to like get to do a Kenner design. We're going to have a cool kind of early 90s themed aesthetic to the shirt too. It's going to be great. And this also, just as a brief aside, is going to loop into a number of things that we have coming hopefully later this summer around the Kenner line, which we'll make announcements about in the future. But one of them is Mark Coesiol, who's a fixture in the Alien toy community, has been going back and forth with me for a while now. He's been going through his collection, cleaning out a lot of things, dusting off prototypes. We're going to be presenting a lot of content around that this summer, and maybe some additional shows related to toys specifically. So be on the lookout for that. But for Alien Day, be on the lookout for this shirt because it's freaking baller.
Yeah, it's really, I keep seeing like he has the this is hand drawn, by the way. It's not that I have any digital artwork is amazing as well, but he's sitting at his desk drawing this thing out by hand, coloring it by hand. So then it's going to go into a scanning phase, and we're going to import it, and then Patrick and I are going to work on it just a little bit to get it ready for TeePublic. And again, that'll be for $14 on Alien Day. $4 of each of the shirts that we sell goes to us. TeePublic makes the profit. So we're hoping tons of people love it, and for that price point, we sell a few hundred. So
Let's go for it. And I got to say, patrons, it's because of you that we were able to do this in the first place, because we commission, we don't use free artwork from people. We commissioned this from the beginning at a fair price, and it's because of you patrons giving us the ability to do that and to be able to pay artists, for the work that they do. So thank you for that. So other things to talk about, we have a couple of other episodes dropping. One of them, speaking of Scottish accents, is an interview with the head brewer of Alewife Brewing Company, who was behind the They Mostly Come at Night Mostly Ale that came out about a month and a half ago and kind of went viral because the artwork was so cool, etc. And Jamie and I got to sit down with him and do this really great talk that felt like a bunch of fans connecting over shared love. And that was just wonderful. So we're going to be dropping that on Alien Day as well. Mm-hmm. As another episode coming out on Alien Day, which is something that I'm going to hand over to Jamie to talk about because you were the one who was able to find him. But it's an interview with Jon Sorenson, who is a figure who anybody who's read any
another
of the
Scotsman
of Alien books. Is he? He is Scottish.
Yeah,
you're
another
right.
Scotsman.
Yeah.
This is just
less of a pronounced accent, but I
Perfect
think
Organism's moving to Scotland, folks.
Perfect Organism. But he was that was an amazing experience. Jamie, you want to talk about the Sorensen interview a little bit?
I had known of Jon Sorenson for quite some time, tracked him down on Facebook, social media, knowing that he worked on Alien. I actually thought he had also worked on Blade Runner, but he did not. And I was following him for a while, and I asked him if we could interview him about his work. And we've had many people interviewed on this show before. The last notable interview was, of course, Ralph Brown, which was just an amazing, sacred, very special time for the three of us, hearing the memories of what it was like to film one of our favorite movies of all time. So Jon Sorenson was very similar. While he wasn't a cast member, he kind of was. He helped build the miniature for the Nostromo, which was, of course, lit and filmed to make it look like it was, a regular sized ship. Really, really amazing. And then he went on to film or assist the filming of other things, like, for instance, Ash's head, when they had to film that scene and getting everything prepared for that. And he was deeply involved in that. And more than anything else, though, this interview for us was just this, it was like, I call it like being at church. It was sacred. I felt like I was there with him in that small studio as he slowly chugged away at building this ship that has lived in our hearts since, well, we were born since 79 or whenever you were born.
since one of us was born. Yeah, it was just extraordinary. Like another one of these unforgettable interviews. This is a guy who worked very, very closely with Ridley. This is a guy who gives us a ton of insight into how Ridley would jump in front of the camera and switch things around in the model because he would just see that it wouldn't be lit correctly, and the model makers would be like, "Hey, what's he doing?" And then it would come out better, and they'd be like, "Oh, this guy's really got it. Like this guy knows what he's doing." Likewise, he was on set when Giger was there. He got to get into that with us quite a bit. And at the end of the day, this is somebody who was there by the banks of the river in July of 1978 in England, outside the studio.
19-year-old,
a guy who, a child who basically was, a film school. I don't know if he was a film school dropout. I think he just graduated from from an art school program, correct? Mm-hmm. And he was just sort of roaming, looking for work. And he kind of got this lead that there was this movie being made called Alien. He got to read like the second draft of the original screenplay of it and was like, wow, this is kind of interesting. And he just like got on a train and went there and lived this adventure that he shared with us at great length and was just so gracious and kind about. And we've, maintained contact with him since. And he feels like somebody who is still just as much a fan. This is somebody who did this, over 40 years ago now, and still thinks of it as like, this was like the crowning achievement of his career.
Yeah.
So to hear that was really just an extraordinary time.
Absolutely. And there's so much in the interview that is a surprise. It's just it felt like being there during that magic, because that movie is magic in and of itself. So to be able to have a seat in that space with him, one of the highlights of my life. So I'm excited to share it.
It was incredible. And, it's funny, after the Ralph Brown interview, a lot of people pointed out that it was, refreshing and different that we heard about Sigourney Weaver having a hard time on set and being kind of difficult. And And which I agree. I'm glad we got to see that side of it as well. Although she ended up coming around and actually being her gracious self again. She was going through a lot during the filming of that, and that's a window into kind of her psychology during it. But we get to see this other side of her filming Alien, which is this person in her late 20s with this role, being a total sweetheart on set, making tea for everybody, and walking around being just this neophyte in the filming space, and getting to see that from somebody else who was also just getting started in his career at the time. It's just, you can't, there's no other, there's it, like, we talked after we wrapped about getting it transcribed and putting it on our website, which we probably will, because it's an actual piece of history, not just of Alien history, but of cinema history. So it was a big deal.
Yeah.
So thank you, Jamie, for finding it.
Of course.
So to wrap up, we also have a giveaway contest going on, which there will be more details about that coming out on social media, if they haven't already by the time this is released. So be staying tuned for that. But we're holding on to a bunch of things from Fox and from elsewhere that we would love to give away to people. So we're going to be, if you remember last year, we did a trivia contest, which I have to say was one of the more enjoyable components of my early 2020 life, which isn't saying very much because early 2020 was pretty freaking rough. But getting to interact with so many of you who wrote emails in with the answers to these incredibly obscure questions we'd come up with was just so fun. So we're going to do something similar to that this year. So stay tuned to our social media channels for more on that.
Yep, it's going to be great. We have, again, like you were saying, Patrick, Fox gave us a bunch of stuff when they were still around, and we did give a lot of it away. And that was a year ago. I can't even believe that. That feels like it was yesterday. But we still have a bunch more, and I need to get it off my hands. It's right behind me in this wooden chest, and it's just been sitting there for 2 years or longer. So I'm excited to give it away. However, we're going to set that up. We'll come out with the details later, but there's a lot of great stuff in there.
Yeah, stay tuned. And it's a nice moment to have kind of a physical connection with everybody on Alien Day 2, which is something virtual. But when you get something in the mail physically, I think anybody who won one of the prizes last year can attest to it. It's a pretty great feeling. So last thing I think we have is a shit show, Return of the Shit Show commentary track for AVP Requiem, which we just recorded 2 days ago. And that was in keeping with its name, a shitty shit show time. It was a great time. It was raucous. It was funny. I laughed so hard, I think I spit my beer out in the middle of it. It was, if nothing else, especially memorable because I got to comment on the fact that I couldn't see what was happening in real time with like 6 other people who also couldn't see what was happening, and getting to have that experience of us all trying to figure out, for example, what direction the predator is facing in certain action sequences was like, it made me feel better that I wasn't the only one who struggled with that. But also, just speaking personally, for me, it was the first time I saw the movie since Christmas weekend of 2007. And I saw it when it opened. I just absolutely detested it, and I still do. Spoiler alert. It's not like, our AVP shit show last year was a different story because we all kind of ended saying like, that wasn't that bad. Like there's redeeming qualities to it. This one ends with us all basically hating it more somehow than we did going into it. But the process of us getting to that, and of so many of us watching it, again for the first time in years and years and years, was absolutely hilarious. And I think you will really enjoy putting this on while you pretend like you can see the movie, because you can't see it either. But
And if you want to watch this, because the video, so you'll be able to see the video with us commenting on it. So it's an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes or whatever, and that video will be available on Patreon. So in order to see that video, you have to sign up, and that starts at $4 a month. Anybody can afford that, right? So yeah, that's our special Alien Day event made for our patrons. So if you're interested, please sign up. perfectorganism.com/support.
And while you're there, you'll see much more than just these yearly shit show episodes that we do. You'll see all these frame rate episodes that we're putting out constantly, and they're awesome and wonderful and continuous extra content for film fans. But shit show is something that we set up a couple of years ago, not with this intention to like do it all the time or to like make it a rigorous commitment, but but more just as an opportunity to get together with friends and have a light, good time talking about not just the AVP films and that universe, but also just the lighter side of Alien, which is something I think we all can engage with more. But that, as far as I can think, is all we have coming up for Alien Day. But it's a lot. and I got to say, a couple of months ago when we realized that April was coming up, we had this heart to heart. We were like, listen, we always like do too much in Alien Day, and it's always stressful. Let's like really tone it down this year. And here we are with a fucking 20-minute episode just talking about the stuff that we're doing for Alien Day. But I have to say, it has not been stressful.
Not at
It's
all.
been a great time.
Not at all.
And
last year,
you'll
like,
be able to feel that.
well, we intended to release Tides of Night last year, and of course, we know how all that went. By April of last year, it was just a mess. Everything was a mess. And it's been hard to focus for everyone, and it just felt, I thought, okay, we'll release it maybe in the fall, and it was just a tough time to keep focus. And then finally I thought, okay, let's do this. And I talked to Patrick about it, and he said, well, let's do this on Alien Day. And I'm like, yes, let's do it. And I got the first edit done about 2 weeks ago or more, and we're working on some of the final details of this final edit, and we'll have that ready for you guys on the morning of Alien Day, 042621.
Let's do it. Thanks, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. When we come back to our regular programming for Perfect Organism, we're going to be covering Parker, a full-length episode on Yaphet Kotto's Parker. And I'm really excited about that. It's a really great character. It's a lot to look forward to. That's for next time.
Yeah.
Enjoy Alien Day.
And to our credit, that was going to be an Alien Day release, and we were like, hang on. we have some restraint. Let's do that after Alien Day. So there's going to be a lot of great things that we were thinking about doing for Alien Day, but did not. Well,
2 years ago,
in the weeks and months.
How many episodes did we release, Patrick, for Alien Day? Like
it was
6.
like 65.
Yeah,
episodes.
it was ridiculous.
I remember there were like 13 different T-shirt designs too, and like nobody bought them because like who's going to buy 13 different T-shirts? So we learn our lessons.
We do indeed.
We're ambitious people.
I'm so excited.
Happy Alien Day, everybody. This is going to be so fun.
Yep.
Stay tuned. Depending on time zones throughout the day, we're going to be doing check-ins on primarily Instagram, but also a big Facebook Live session towards the end of the day. So, if you're on the East Coast of the U.S., like tune in sometime around 9 a.m. We'll be doing stuff on Instagram, etc. throughout the day. And yeah, this is a global event, so join in from wherever you are.
I will have gotten my last shot, not Moderna, of the Pfizer shot the day before. So cross your fingers that I'm okay. Which I'm sure
it could be very interesting. It could be very interesting. That's all I'm going to say.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
See you. Stay safe, everybody.
For more on Perfect Organism, the Alien Saga Podcast, please visit perfectorganism.com. Perfect Organism is available for listen or download through Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn, and Spotify. If you'd like to support the show, please visit perfectorganism.com/support. Thank you.